Hi, welcome again to Yoga for Old Guys. My name is Kurt Bowman, and I'm very happy that you've chosen to join me for another yoga workout. Today we're going to go through some vinyasa flow, but we're going to do fewer chaturangas today. I was talking to one of the viewers and he said, "How many chaturangas do you do?" So it won't be the same all the time. Last time we were working a little bit more on upper body strength. That's why I did all of those chaturangas. We'll keep switching it around. Today we're going to work a little bit more on leg strength and balance. So let's get started. Come into a comfortable seated position. Hands, wrists resting gently on your knees or thighs. And now close your eyes and start to focus on today, right now. Forget about what happened this morning or this past week or what you think is going to happen in the future. Let's just focus on the next minutes together. Take a deep breath in through your nostrils. Exhale through your nostrils. Again, breathe. Fill your stomach with air. One more deep breath. Open your eyes. Place your fingers alongside next to you on the mat. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, drop your left fingers and lean into your right side. Right arm overhead, just breathe into those right ribs. Inhale, both arms overhead. Exhale, drop the right fingers and lean to your right, breathe into those right ribs. Remember to keep your sits bones securely planted, breathing into that. Inhale, arms overhead. Drop your left fingers and exhale into the left. Don't lean forward. Just come into the left side and breathe into your right ribs. Inhale, arms overhead. Drop your right fingers and lean over to the right. Breathe into those left ribs. Both legs out in front of you briefly. Bring the right knee up, that heel right to your left thigh. Sit tall. Lift straight through the neck. Inhale, drop your right fingers behind you. Now twist to the right. Hook your left elbow to your right knee. Remember to twist with your torso, not your eyes. You can look off your right shoulder, but don't let your eyes do the twisting. Just breathe into that twist. Right leg back out in front of you. Bring your left leg up over your right. Sit tall. Twist to the left. Hook your right elbow to your left knee. And twist into the left with your torso. Come back into that comfortable seated position, cross leg if you're able. Remember which leg is in front. Inhale, exhale, just lean forward. Let your head hang as low as you're able. Your elbows can touch the floor, or your forearms, your forehead. Lean, let everything fold forward. Inhale, come to seated. Change the cross of your legs. Other leg in front. Inhale, same thing. Fold forward as far as you're able, but just let everything hang. Your head, your neck. Bend as deeply as you're able. Inhale, come to upright. Just pivot in one direction, feet towards the front of your mat. Legs straight out in front of you. Just roll to your back. Bring your right ankle on top of your left knee. Bring your left leg up. Pull your left thigh into your chest. This is called reclined pigeon. This is a version of the pigeon we've done before with our leg on the ground. This is much easier on your knee, but it's still opening up the hip, and that's what we're trying to do here. Both feet to the floor. Left ankle over right knee. Pull your right thigh into your chest. Let your shoulders come down to the ground. Head down. This is not an abdominal exercise. This is to open up the hips. Can you feel that in one hip more than the other? Both feet on the floor. Come to hands and knees, big toes together, knees apart, and just lean back into child's pose. Stretch out that lower back, let your fingers crawl forward. If you're able to get your forehead down on the ground and your glutes on your heels, that's fantastic. Let your head drop. Stretch out that back. Come up to tabletop, hands and knees. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Inhale to cow. Let your pelvis drop, head comes up. Now when we go into cat, let your head be the first thing to go and roll right up high into your pelvis. Exhale into cat. As we go into cow, let your head be the opposite. Let that be the end. Inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. Inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. Come into a neutral spine. curl your toes under and come into a downward facing dog. Go ahead and pedal out the legs if you're getting warmed up. And just focus on bringing your tailbone right up to that line where the ceiling meets the top of the wall. Get it pointed up. If you're able to get your heels down, great. Stretch it out. Walk your hands out to high plank. Walk your feet up to your hands at the front of your mat. Forward fold. Grab your elbows. Let your head fall. And just gently sway from side to side. Let your hands fall to the ground if you're able. And roll one vertebrae at a time. Up to mountain. Hands at your side, palms facing forward. Now focus on having your shoulders back and down. Let them fall away from the ears. Absolutely focus on, especially you guys out there, we tend to walk and stand with our shoulders rolled forward all the time. Just let them stretch them out. Turn those palms a little exaggerated out. Stretch out those shoulders. All right, come into relaxed position. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lifted. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths. Inhale, walk your hands backwards to your feet. Forward fold. Inhale, roll up one vertebrae at a time in your spine. And again, exaggerate it, but let your shoulders roll back and down. Palms facing forward. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Walk your fingers, hands away from your feet to high plank. And lower yourself all the way to the mat. We're going to warm up bring some energy to the shoulder blades right now. Bring your hands and your arms alongside of you. Forehead on the ground, toes pointed back and on the ground, knees on the ground. Bring your hands away from your body about a foot or so to the side. You're kind of a V, an arrow. And raise your head, your chest, and your arms. Keep your neck straight. Look down. Breathe. Bring your shoulder blades together by raising your hands another inch. And come back down to the ground. Take a breath. Come back up. Airplane arms behind you. Neck is straight, your eyes are looking down, your chest is off the ground. Raise your arms in the back another inch and come back down. Hands flat on the floor next to your chest. Just push up slightly, raise your chest, head, neck into a baby cobra. Come back down to the ground. One more time, baby cobra. Just push up. Head, neck, and chest off the ground. Bring some heat into the back. Forehead back down at the ground. Push up to tabletop and back into child's pose. Come into tabletop. Curl your toes under. Downward facing dog. Walk your hands out into high plank and walk your feet up to your hands. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lifted. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll up one vertebrae at a time into mountain pose. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lifted. Exhale, high plank, chaturanga. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, down. Inhale, facing dog. Inhale, right leg, three-legged dog. Just take a second to square your hips. Don't roll one way or the other. Point your toes. Exhale, bring your right foot up and forward right next to your right thumb. Drop your left knee, toes pointed back. Come up, raise your left hand over your head. Drop your left elbow to your right knee. And a prayer twist to the right. Remember, twisting with your torso. Open up that heart. Drop your right elbow. Inhale, hands to the mat. Exhale, high plank. Inhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg, three-legged dog. Square your hips. Inhale, bring your left foot forward. Drop your right knee. Toes pointed back. Come up, hands on the knee. Inhale with your right arm overhead. Bring your right elbow. Hook it on your left thigh or knee. Come into a prayer twist to the left. Open up that heart. Open up the torso. Twisting with your chest and torso. Hands back down to the mat. Come into a high plank. Exhale into downward facing dog. We're going to add to that sequence. This is where the balance and the leg strength is going to start to build. Inhale, right leg, three-legged dog, always squaring up. Exhale, bring your right foot forward. Drop that left knee. Come up again. Hook your left elbow to your right knee. Come into that prayer twist. But now if you're able, straighten the back leg up to the left toes. Come into a twist. Back knee is off the ground. Straighten the back leg. Hands back down to the mat. Right leg back. Walk your hands back to your feet. Roll your vertebrae up one at a time. Hands overhead. Come back down into mountain pose. Take a breath. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Walk your hands out to high plank. Inhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg, three-legged dog. Left foot forward. Drop that right knee. Hands up to the knee. Right elbow, left, or prayer twist left. Now if you're able, come up, straighten that back right leg. This is also called a crescent twist. Anytime you're in a twist like this, you want your heart higher than your glutes. Hands back down to the mat, high plank, downward facing dog. Walk your feet to the front of your mat up by your hands. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lifted. Drop the pelvis, drop the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll up. Hands overhead. Come into mountain. Palms forward. Take a breath. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lifted. Exhale, high plank, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Again, thinking about the legs and the balance and the strength. Right leg, three-legged dog. Right foot forward. Back leg is straight. Knees off the ground. Fingers are still on the mat. Now, raise your torso and bring your arms behind you, airplane arms. Now, hands up, crescent lunge. Don't roll the hips, square up the hips. They should be pointing to the front of the room. Your front. Airplane arms. Crescent lunge. Left elbow to right knee. Prayer twist to the right. Come back up into crescent. And hands back down to the mat. High plank. Downward facing dog. Left leg, legged dog. Left foot forward. Back leg is up and straight. Come into airplane arms. Arms up overhead, crescent lunge. Airplane arms. Don't lean forward. Back straight. Crescent lunge. Right elbow, left knee. Prayer twist to the left. Twisting with your torso. Crescent lunge, hands overhead. Hands back down to the mat. Downward facing dog. Take a few breaths. Come into high plank. Walk your feet up to the front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lifted. Exhale, forward fold. Roll one vertebrae at a time up to mountain pose. Gather your breath. Hands on your hips. Take your right leg and swing it out 3 or 4 feet. As wide as you're really able. Hands on the hips. Bend forward at the waist. And fingers down to the mat. Let your head hang. Walk your fingers towards your left toe. Walk your fingers back to central. Walk your fingers to your right toe. Come back to center. Hang your head and neck. Hands on the hips. Come to standing. Turn your left toes out in front of you. Right knee is pointed to the left. Back foot is now at about a 45 or a 90, depending upon how tight your hips are. And arms out, warrior 2. Remember now to check your front toes. Can you see big toe in the first 2 toes? Take your back hand, turn your palm up, stretch out that shoulder. Drop your back hand and back bend. Warrior 2. Drop your left elbow. Before you do anything else, check your alignment. Is your shoulder and your back against that imaginary wall? Right arm overhead. Head back against the wall. Your right fingers and your right heel should look like a laser. Come up, straighten out your left leg. You're still in what looks like almost a warrior position, but your left leg is straight. Bring your right foot out a little bit and bend forward as far as you're able over your left leg. The idea here is not to jam yourself. Stretch out that leg and hip. Come back up. Left leg is still straight. Back leg is at a 45. Now, lean forward at the waist as far as you're able. Drop your left hand and come into triangle pose. The triangle, the fullest expression of this pose is your hand is down on the floor, your fingers on the floor, but it's not how low that you're going. That's important. It is, don't curl in, don't bend down. Keep that back against the proverbial back wall behind you. Head back, arms teed out. Come back up into Warrior Two. Stand up straight, feet pointed forward. Now turn your right foot out. Left foot is back and a 45 or 90. Come into Warrior Two. Check your right foot. Can you see those toes? Back leg is straight. Neck and head is up over your waist. Spine is straight. Drop that back hand. Lean back with your right arm overhead. This is a stretch. Come back up into Warrior Two. Drop the right elbow, right knee. Side angle. Left arm overhead. Head back. Left palm helps them be square in the back. Laser fingers and heel are in alignment. Come up into Warrior Two and stand with your now right leg straight. Bring your left foot out a bit and come into a forward bend over that right leg, straightened right leg. Feel it in your hip, your right hip. Come into standing, still in the triangle position. Bend forward as far as you're able without tipping to the side. Drop your right hand, lift your left arm overhead. Put that head and neck and back against the back proverbial wall. Triangle pose. We're holding these poses for stretch and for strength. We're not trying to build heat here. Come back up into Warrior Two. Front leg is bent, back leg is straight. Arms out and come into standing with your feet wide apart. Bend at the waist and let your head
and arms drop back down to the floor. Come up to standing and step both feet to the top of the mat. Mountain pose. Close your eyes just a moment. Breathe in through the nostrils. Breathe out. Take another breath. Eyes open. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lifted. Exhale, high plank, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, walk your feet up to the front of your mat. Forward fold. Inhale. Come up to standing mountain pose. Shoulders down and back. Okay. If you'd like to be at the top of your mat, that's fine. I'm going to turn toward you. We're going to do some basic balance again. Can't do enough of that. Ground your feet into all four corners of the foot. And now ground into your right foot only. Engage that right hip and bring your left foot out in front of you about 6 inches. Stand up as straight as you're able. Remember to find something in front of you that isn't moving. Pick out that spot and focus. If you're able, bring your hands into right in front of your chest, into a prayer. Bring your left knee up, folded. And now point your left foot behind you without touching to the floor. But if you fall out of it, guess what? We all do. Get right back into it. Left pointed behind you. Left knee up in front of you again. And both feet back down. Walk it out. Ground your left foot. Kickstand those toes a minute. Is your left, all four corners of your left foot grounded? And come out, right foot in front of you about 6 inches. For me, I've said this before, but my left foot, my left side is much stronger and more balanced than my right for some reason. Apparently, everybody has a better side. Left or right knee up and right foot behind you. Right knee up and bring both feet together. Okay. Let's see, we started with ground in the right foot. This time, kickstand your left toes up alongside perpendicular. We're going into tree. Again, you can bring the foot up to your right thigh. You can bring it up to your right calf, but do not rest it on the side of your knee. Ready? Bring it up to where that's going to be. Maybe today it's just kickstand. And you're just working it that way. The left, in this case, your left knee is perpendicular to your body. Yeah, I know I'm shaking like a leaf. Left knee up in front of you, and bring your feet back together. Whatever foot you started with, switch. Ground that foot, in my case, to the left. Ground that left foot in. Kickstand your right toes, and bring it up. I can bring the foot up to my thigh, but it lasts about 3 seconds. And the purpose is to build strength and balance, not to look pretty, which is no problem for me, not looking pretty. Right knee, in my case, your case, is perpendicular, locking that left hip. Right knee out in front of you. And bring both feet together. Good job. All right, step to the top of your mat. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lifted. Exhale, high plank. Lower yourself all the way to the mat, all the way down. We did a variation of this, but we've done it before. Arms straight out in front of you, overhead. Pinkies on the ground. Thumbs pointed up. Toes on the ground, pointed back. Now, push your pinkies down hard into the ground, which should engage your shoulder blades. The forehead's on the ground. Toes are pushing down, knees are down. Push hard. Okay, come up into cactus arms. Elbows are back, chest is off the ground, neck is off the ground. Knees are on the ground. Look down, don't crane your neck. And back down, forehead's on the ground, pinkies on the ground. This time, push the pinkies in, engage the shoulder blades, push the toes down, and bring your knees off the ground. Push, 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 cactus. Chest off the ground, elbows back. Neck's off the ground, toes are down, knees are off the ground. Hold it up, and come back down. Last time. This time when we come up into cactus, everything except your pelvis is going to be off the ground. Push with your pinkies, push with your toes, engage the shoulder blades. Knees are off the ground, push, and cactus. Everything but your pelvis is off the ground. Always look down. There's no sense in raising your neck in an odd position. Everything's off. Raise your elbows another 1/2 inch, and everything comes down. Come up into tabletop and come into a seated position, feet towards the top of your mat. Okay, we're going to roll back down to your back. Right knee over left knee. Your left knee is up in the air. Right or left foot on the floor. Left knee up. Bring your right leg up over your left. Lift your hips and bring them to the right an inch or two. And allow your knees just to fall to the left. Right arm is teed to the side. Can you keep that shoulder on the ground? Everything comes back up. Switch, right foot down, right knee up, left leg over right. Left arm is off to the side. Pick up your hips, bring them to the left an inch or two, and have your sets of knees just drop to the right. Come back up to center, both feet on the ground. We're going to come into butterfly, which is placing the soles of both feet together. Knees are pointed away from each other. Soles of both feet together, and just allow your knees to drop to the outside. Don't force your legs apart, just let them fall as far as they're able. Knees back up together, left leg out along the floor. Pull your right knee into your chest. Switch, right leg's along the floor, left knee is pulled into your chest. Come up to seated. Both feet are on the floor, knees up. Lean back on your sits bone and just bring your feet up to like a tabletop, coming into boat. If you're able, arms out in front of you. Focus on keeping your spine straight, not rounding, not laying down. Keep your right leg bent and now straighten your left leg. Switch. Left is bent, right is straight. Switch. Switch. Right is straight. Switch. Left is straight. Switch. Right is straight. Both feet on the ground. Roll back. Bring your knees, both knees up to the chest. Head's on the floor. Pull your knees into your chest and give that lumbar a little bit of a rock back and forth. Give it a little bit of massage. And both legs straight out in front of you. Bring your heels width apart. Arms flat on the floor, palms up. Coming into the final Shavasana. Let your heels and calves, let gravity take over, knees and thighs. pelvic area drop, glutes flatten, release the breath. Shoulders fall away from the chest. Start to wake up the hands and toes. Come on to your right side. Gently bring yourself up to seated. Coming into that comfortable position. I hope you enjoyed the practice. Bring your hands into your chest in a prayer-like position. Let your chin drop in gratitude to yourself for taking the time to practice today. Namaste. Again, thank you for being a part of the practice. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found value in it. And always in the YouTube game, if you feel so, like and share this, and always subscribe if you're able. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great day. Take care.